All right, folks, it's that time of year again. The NFL schedule release is right around the corner, officially set for Wednesday, May 14th. And even though we're in that quiet stretch of the offseason where news is pretty thin, this actually makes it the perfect moment to dive into some bold predictions, juicy speculation, and maybe even get a little carried away with what might be coming our way. You can feel the anticipation building because when that schedule drops, you just know there's going to be a ton of reactions, debates, and possibly even a live stream or two that will be well worth tuning into. Trust me, this is the kind of event that turns a regular weekday into must-watch content for every football junkie out there. Now, looking back at last season's schedule, there were a few key highlights that really stood out. For starters, the team had just 3 primetime games, which is honestly less than what you'd expect for a franchise with such a passionate fan base. There was also an international matchup over in London, always a spectacle no matter who's playing. And of course, that memorable Thanksgiving game, which wasn't just another date on the calendar, but actually served as a kind of farewell, a tour for a beloved veteran. That game carried a lot of emotional weight, giving fans a bittersweet moment to reflect on the player's career, while still enjoying the holiday tradition of football. But beyond the individual games, there was something else unusual about last year's layout. All 6 divisional matchups were crammed into the final 2 months of the season. That's right, every single one of those rivalry games was shoved into the back half of the schedule, leading to a congested, high-stakes sprint to the finish line. While it definitely made for some thrilling late-season football, it also felt a bit overwhelming. The expectation this time around is that the league will opt for a more balanced approach, spreading those divisional showdowns out more evenly across the season. You can still count on some big-time clashes late in the year and during Week 18, because that's become a bit of a tradition, but it's highly unlikely they'll repeat that packed format from last year. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the opponents, because those have been known for a while now. On the home front, we're looking at classic divisional battles against Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota. Those games are always intense no matter the standings. In addition to those, there are visits lined up from several marquee franchises, teams with big names and even bigger expectations. Honestly, when you look at the home schedule as a whole, it feels manageable. If this team has serious aspirations, they absolutely need to aim for at least 6 wins out of 8 home games. That's going to be crucial because the road games, those are shaping up to be significantly tougher challenges. Every divisional road game is going to be a war, plain and simple. Teams like Philadelphia and Washington are bringing the heat, not to mention the likes of Baltimore and Cincinnati, who are perennial contenders with serious playoff pedigree. There's also another team lurking on the schedule that might not get as much media attention but will absolutely be a tough out. Sure, there are some matchups that look winnable on paper, but nothing comes easy in this league, especially away from home. That's why locking down a 6-2 record at home is so important. It sets the foundation and eases the pressure when you're out there trying to scrape together 3 or 4 road wins. And really, that's the magic number. If they can snag 3 to 4 victories on the road, you're suddenly talking about a 9 or 10 win season, which could be enough to get into the playoff conversation. There's also the intrigue surrounding who the opening opponent will be. There's a growing buzz that a certain team might be in line to face Philadelphia in a season opener. Traditionally, the defending champions kick off the season on Thursday night, which adds a layer of prestige to the matchup. With broadcasting rights shifting to a new network, there's even more reason to believe that the NFL will want to make a statement with a marquee matchup. One interesting tidbit that's been floating around is a comment made by a well-known broadcaster. Whether it was a slip of the tongue or a calculated hint is up for debate, but they expressed excitement about covering a game involving a particular team early in the season. Naturally, that's led to a flurry of speculation about whether they were referring to the very first week or just an early season clash in general. When you look at Philadelphia's potential opponents, it doesn't seem likely that they'd burn a divisional game right out of the gate. Those matchups tend to be saved for later in the season when playoff races are heating up. Could it be a different high-profile team? Absolutely. There are several intriguing options, each with their own storyline that the league could easily promote. Another team might offer better ratings, especially if there's a compelling quarterback duel or a long-standing rivalry involved. As much as fans love the idea of starting with a bang, the league is strategic about these things. They know which Games will draw eyeballs and they'll position those accordingly. Speaking of rivalries, there's also a fascinating narrative brewing with a Christmas Day matchup. The holiday falls on a Thursday this year, opening the door for what could be a triple header of games. The league has shown a real fondness for turning Christmas into a football showcase, and there's no reason to think that will change. One game in particular is rumored to revive a classic rivalry, the kind that transcends current standings and taps into decades of history. Imagine the scene. A cold, snowy stadium, two teams with genuine dislike for each other, battling it out while families across the country gather around their TVs. The league loves that kind of imagery, and they know fans do too. Switching gears slightly, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the growing expectation that he could sign with the Steelers. Picture this. Rodgers making his return to Soldier Field, this time in a Pittsburgh uniform for a Sunday night showdown. The narrative writes itself. Rodgers has had so much success in that stadium, but there's a palpable hunger among Bears fans to finally see him on the losing end of one of those matchups. If this move happens, and many believe it will, the league might circle that date in October, possibly around Halloween, for a primetime slot. That would give fans the perfect blend of nostalgia and revenge, especially if the Bears are in a position to deliver a statement win. The last thing anyone in Chicago wants is to see Rodgers walk away with yet another victory in their house. The schedule makers are surely aware of this possibility and are probably salivating at the chance to showcase such a matchup in prime time. And let's not forget, the last time these two teams faced off in a primetime setting, it was arguably the most memorable game of Justin Fields' young career. Unfortunately, a controversial call involving contact with an official overshadowed what could have been a signature win. Longtime fans haven't forgotten that incident, and you can bet the networks will replay that moment over and over in the lead up to the rematch. There's a real sense of unfinished business here. And if Rodgers does end up in Pittsburgh, this game becomes must-watch television. Looking ahead, there's also a compelling matchup brewing between the Bears and the Commanders. Both teams feature young quarterbacks with sky-high potential, playing in two of the league's largest media markets. The NFL knows the value of these storylines, and networks like Fox will undoubtedly be fighting to broadcast that game. Last year's meeting between these teams delivered high drama, with lead changes and a wild fourth quarter that had everyone on the edge of their seats. The controversial finish still stings for Bears fans, but it also makes the upcoming rematch even more enticing. Expect that game to be prominently featured on the schedule, possibly as a marquee afternoon matchup. Now, as we pivot to the broader schedule projections, a few games stand out as prime candidates for national broadcasts. The return of a former player to Detroit is a big one, especially considering the Lions' recent rise to prominence within the division. Whether that game lands in September or later in the season, it's almost guaranteed to be showcased in prime time. The personal connections between the coaching staffs and the shared history between these franchises add extra layers to what is already shaping up to be a high-stakes encounter. Detroit has become the team to beat in this division, and every game against them carries added significance. Meanwhile, early season matchups against teams like the Eagles, Giants, and Packers will set the tone for the year. A strong start is essential, especially given the gauntlet of road games waiting later on. The Saints, 49ers, and Steelers all present formidable challenges, and the mid-season bye week will be a crucial opportunity to regroup and reset. The back half of the schedule includes clashes with playoff caliber teams like the Browns and Cowboys, as well as divisional rematches that could have significant playoff implications. And let's not forget that final stretch. Games against the Lions, Raiders, Packers, and Vikings to close out the year. Every one of those contests could end up being a must-win situation, depending on how the standings shake out. So there you have it, a comprehensive look ahead at what might be coming when the NFL drops its full schedule. Of course, this is all speculation for now, but that's half the fun, isn't it? The official reveal is just days away, and soon enough we'll know exactly which games to circle on the calendar. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a shocking move that sent ripples through the NFL, Aaron Donald, one of the league's most dominant defensive players, has signed with the Chicago Bears in a deal that has excited fans and analysts alike. Known for his relentless pressure on quarterbacks and his ability to disrupt the opposition's offensive line, Donald's arrival in Chicago is poised to shift the balance of power in the NFC North. The veteran defensive tackle, who spent the first part of his career with the Los Angeles Rams, is widely regarded as one of the best defensive players of his generation. Over his 8-year career, Donald has accumulated numerous accolades, including 3 NFL Defensive Player of the Year awards and 7 Pro Bowl selections. His relentless pursuit of the quarterback, paired with his uncanny ability to read the offensive line, has made him a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks and offensive coordinators. Donald's new contract with the Bears is a statement of intent. In his first public remarks after signing the deal, the defensive powerhouse made it clear that his main focus is simple. "I'm here for one reason, and that's to hunt QBs," he said with a fierce determination in his voice. The phrase quickly became a rallying cry among Bears fans who are eager to see their team return to prominence after years of underperformance. The Bears, who have long been known for their stout defenses, now have one of the most feared pass rushers in the league, lining up alongside their already formidable defense. With Donald in the fold, Chicago's defensive line has instantly become one of the most dangerous units in the NFL. The addition of Donald provides an immediate boost to a team that struggled last season to pressure quarterbacks consistently. Last year, the Bears' defense finished 22nd in sacks, a statistic that they are hoping to dramatically improve with the addition of the 3-time All-Pro. Aaron Donald's presence in Chicago brings a wealth of experience and leadership to a young Bears defense that is still finding its identity. His ability to command double teams and free up other pass rushers will be invaluable, and his influence is expected to elevate the level of play of his teammates. For defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, having a player of Donald's caliber is a dream come true, and the Bears' defensive schemes will undoubtedly evolve to take full advantage of his skill set. As for Donald himself, his motivation is clear. "I want to win. I want to be part of something special, and I know the Bears have the pieces in place to do just that," he stated. The 32-year-old is hungry for a championship, and joining the Bears may very well be his best shot at securing one before the twilight of his career. With his relentless drive and unmatched work ethic, Donald is expected to make an immediate impact in Chicago. For Bears fans, the signing of Aaron Donald has reinvigorated their hopes for a return to glory. As training camp kicks off and the season draws closer, one thing is certain: Donald's hunt for QBs is just beginning, and the NFL should be on notice. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.